Right. So, I once again welcome you all to this very special 102nd session. As you know that these sessions are being organized by India International Education Council and School Lalaji Solutions. India International Education Council is a not-for-profit organization which is working in the field of education. It has collaborators from 12 countries. It aims to create a better world through education. It also aims to build quality centers for elementary education, approachable for all kids, finding best educational practices across the globe and find ways to implement those in Indian institutions, creating more awareness on hygiene and learning disabilities. It publishes a magazine called World Education Review and many other educational reports. It aims to fill 100 chapters in different cities by 2022. It will soon open its membership for institutions and individuals. It also imparts training for leaders, teachers, students, and parents. As we all know, this is our 102nd session. We have so far conducted 101 sessions. We have received 9,922 registrations, 8,709 questions on national education policy from different educators. We have seen participation from 5 countries: India, USA, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Nepal. From India, we have seen participation from 20 states and 83 cities. We aim to organize 200 sessions. We would be reaching out to 100,000 educators, 20,000 institutions, and 1,000 plus eminent speakers like today's speakers would be joining us to share their perspective and thought. So now I would request please join me in welcoming our key speakers for this very special session. Our first key speaker, Dr. Anju Mehrotra ma'am. Anju ma'am uh, is principal with Kalka Public School, Delhi. She did her MBA from Indian School of Business Management and Administration, Pune. She was awarded PhD in Education in September 2002 from Jamia Millia Islamia University in New Delhi. She has written various books, one book titled Constructivism and its Implications to Teacher Education, another book titled Leadership Qualities of School Principals. She's also written a textbook for political science, which was published by Arts and Publishers, Indian Politics Since Independence. She has received many prestigious awards and recognitions, for her contribution to the field of education, like Rashtriya Shikshak Samman, Teachers Day Award by Bachpan Group, Teachers Day Award by IIHM, Women of the Year Award, Ayush Friendly School of the Year Award, Excellence Leadership Award. We are honored with your presence, Anju ma'am. Thank you for joining. It's a huge honor to have you. Our next key speaker, Gurdeep Kaur ma'am. Gurdeep ma'am is principal with Sri Harshad V. Walia International School, Andheri West, Mumbai. He's MA in English, MA Education, PG Nutrition and Dietetics with PGDBM. She's certified school auditor and innovative and passionate educator with a strong desire to add value to the field of education. She has more than 20 years of experience with expertise in CBSE affiliation, curriculum designing, assessment and evaluation, mentoring, professional development of teachers. She strongly believes in connection before correction, national at heart and global in spirit. Our team can create magic. These three magical formulas by Gurdeep Kaur ma'am. Under her leadership, her school has received various awards like Top Emerging School 2020 by Times Group, Best Progressive School 2020 by NSA, Educators Desk Conference London. She had been part of. She's also the secretary with PSA CWA. She is also the Hindu Principals Panel Discussion Keynote Speaker, among many other such prestigious recognitions. We welcome you, Gurdeep ma'am. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure is totally mine.
Thank you, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Our next key speaker, Shivendra Keshav Srivastava sir. Shivendra sir is principal with Radiant International School, Chunar, Uttar Pradesh. He has an MSc in physics. He's also done MCA. He has decades of experience in education. He has worked with many prestigious institutions like DAV Lohaghat, Jim Corbett International School, Almora. We welcome you, Shivendra sir. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you. Our next key speaker, Mr. Rajesh Kumar. Rajesh Kumar sir is principal with Montfort Academy, Dhanbad, Jharkhand. He has done MSc, MPhil Zoology, B.Ed, MBA and HR. He has 30 years of experience in education. Welcome, Rajesh sir. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you. Our next key speaker, Dr. Kavita Singh, she is Associate Professor with SRM University, Haryana. Her research interests include emotional maturity, work-family conflict, well-being, job satisfaction, stress leadership, KM, and organizational communication. She's a passionate researcher and management professional with a strong belief in continuous learning. She brings in rich experience of 14 plus years in academics. She earned her MBA in HRM and marketing and doctorate in management. Dr. Kavita Singh is an active researcher and has published many research papers and book chapters in peer-reviewed academic journals and books. She has participated in several workshops, presented research papers in various reputed international and national conferences. She has been writing in international and national journals of repute like Scopus and SCI Index. Welcome you, Kavita ma'am. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you. Our next speaker, Jaswinder Singh ji. Jaswinder sir is founder and CEO of Wordsworth ELP. Jaswinder Singh ji has an experience of 30 years in the field of education and technology and has also served as a consultant to UNESCO on education. Wordsworth English Lab is designed for India and is highly research initiative of ACT UNIF Group, a trusted education company with 2 decades of service in technology, education and training. Its expertise in technology, multimedia and content development has been instrumental in presenting a world-class language lab solution for the academia in India. In a short span of time, Wordsworth English Language Lab has managed considerable recognition across the country for its unique content and methodology. Over 3,000 installations in institutions across the country stand testimony of the quality in product, implementation, training, and continual service provided by XUNIF and its committed network of dealers. We welcome you, Jaswinder. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, Rajanji. Thank you.
Welcome. And lastly, speaker for this very special session, Vinayak Sharma ji. Vinayak is the National Head Business and Strategy at Torrens. He's MBA double major in finance and marketing from IMA. He dropped out after clearing first group of CA final to start own brand of tea, which sells successfully in rural West Bengal and opened up subsequent exports to European countries. He's having a decade of experience in FMCG sector, branding and supply chain, along with handling international trade and logistics. Since 2017, involved in bringing an upliftment in the field of music education provided to schools across India through Torrens, which is a US-based organization known globally to provide the best in music education through its online and offline platforms. We welcome you, Vinayak. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, Rajanji.
So with this, I once again welcome you all for joining and making this session, very special. So I would request all our key speakers, if we can have your quick 1 minute opening remarks, and after that I'll come back to you for your main talk. So first I would request Anju ma'am, if we can have your opening remarks. I believe Anju ma'am has just logged out, she will be coming back now. I would request Gurdeep ma'am, if we can have your opening remarks.
Sure, sure. First of all, good evening to everyone. I am so impressed with the rich, eminent personalities who are there along. Hearty welcome to all of you and would like to connect thereafter also. Now, before, when I got the invite for this, I was just going through Lala Ji School Solutions.
School Lala Ji.
School Lala Ji. And I was just wondering, other than the four walls and the children, you have everything. Okay, so there's everything that is existing over there. And I think I went through Torrens. Torrens also is music, and I must tell you, we recently had an online jugalbandi for tabla and sitar. So I mean, it really attracted me when I saw your profile and of course the profile of all others. But not taking any more time, I would like to first of all say that the national education policy, I feel, has layers and layers and layers. You unveil one layer and it has so many other layers. So there is a long way that we can understand it, imbibe it, implement it well. Now, it is definitely an historic effort which has taken place after 34 years and third in the row after our independence. And definitely, it's a fine blend of ancient and modern education. the best part is that this national education policy was drafted after the suggestions from so many people, edu leaders, educationists, researchers, anyone and everyone who is associated. I remember sending my own review about it also. So that is where how brainstorming and collaboration has actually taken place, and it has come out in such a fine way. And I'm sure if we take it seriously, we do the needful, it is going to turn India into global knowledge superpower. It is going to definitely ensure equity and inclusion, which we really want. And I feel it's not only going to be inclusion, it will be quality education inclusion, inclusion of quality education. See, because every sector, every part has been looked into so carefully. So I'm very, very positive about the national education policy. I would hand it over to the others.
Thank you, ma'am. And you have set the tone for the session. As you said, like we accept everything, we have everything. So we have actually nothing. We are just a platform, and we have people like Jaswinder ji, we have people like Vinayak, and we have leaders like you. So we are just try to suitably do that matchmaking exercise. And
So the best example of collaboration.
yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. So we are very fortunate that we have support, from leaders like you, Anju ma'am, Vinayak, and Jaswinder sir. And now,
Raju ji is
Anju ma'am
like
has joined us back.
schoolshadi.com.
Yeah. So, Anju ma'am, may I request you if we can have your quick opening remark? Anju ma'am, you're on mute. Right. So, Anju ma'am, I believe she's facing some technical glitch. So, meanwhile, I would request Srivastava sir, if we can have your quick opening remark.
Hello,
So,
Yeah.
are you able to hear me?
Are you able to hear me?
yes, ma'am. At least I'm able to.
Yeah, we are able
Yes,
to hear you,
Anju ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
we all can hear you.
Wonderful.
We all can hear you.
Yeah, I think that's good. Is it fine? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I would, yeah, namaste, namaste, everybody. It's very nice to be here. These technical glitches, they really with each other. But anyway, namaskar, good afternoon. And it is certainly, a pleasure to get an opportunity to be there with this, huge gathering, of course, and all the educationists, all the people who will be really highly qualified talking about the NEP, which is not just a document. I believe it's a mission. So it's a living document, and after a long gap, after a long wait, this beautiful document which has come up. Now the responsibility lies on the educationists how to get it implemented. And I'm sure that if we all put our heads together, something very nice is going to come up, and we will be able to very, very successfully be able to implement it. And let's see, hopefully, the things which have come up here, few very important things are there, certain keywords which we'll be using, of course, with the new course where I'm going to, talk about especially the ECCE, because that's something which is very close to my heart, and I'm very passionate about it. It is all about early childhood care, that education. So that time, of course, we'll be just seeing that how national education policy, which is a kind of say breath of fresh air, that really has given a life to system of education. This particular system of education, which was almost at the ailing situation, we are and we all will be able to connect with each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Anju ma'am. And we all agree with your perspective that this policy has a tremendous potential to place India, in that coveted Vishwa Gyan Guru. And a lot of educators in our previous session have also maintained that. Thank you, Anju ma'am. We'll come back to you for your main talk. Meanwhile, I would request Rajesh sir, welcome, and if we can have your opening remark. Sir, you are on mute. Sir, you are on mute again. Rajesh sir, you need to unmute yourself.
Good evening, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you're audible. You're audible, sir.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. And this is a good platform to discuss new education policy. And this is the time when new education policy should be introduced in our India, in schools, in higher educations as well. Because in past days, since last 15 years, we have seen that youth and children are going on the way which cannot be tolerable. Their thinking and their mindset, their philosophy, and our people's philosophy, Indian people's philosophy has changed altogether. They are more concerned about money. They are more concerned about foreign countries, and they don't discuss anything about our country's evils, social evils. They don't have time to discuss all these things, and all these types of things exist in our society due to incapable education system. And since long, since our independence, we are not having a good education policy. We were not having good education policies. Drawbacks were there. I will discuss in detail when
Right,
I will be given the time again. So I hope
right.
that this new education policy is having many merits to eradicate all those lapses which we were having earlier. Thank you.
Right, sir. Thank you. I'll come back to you for main talk. Shivendra sir, do we have your presence? I've received a message that you are facing some internet or technical issue. Shivasta sir, do we have your presence? Okay, so right, I'll request Kavita Singh ji, Kavita ma'am, if we can have your opening remark. Kavita ma'am, you need to unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone.
You're audible, ma'am.
Thank you, School Lalaji, for giving this opportunity to SRM University to represent at this platform. Well, if I talk about the new education policy, this is going to bring a change in the lifestyle of each and every student because they are getting a chance to choose their own way they want to go for the education. And if I talk about higher education, when the student is coming from a school life to a higher education level, they will be getting a chance that they can earn credits from different institutions, and then they can go for hiring, having a degree of their own choice. So definitely it will be bringing a very new changes which are beyond the thinking of the manpower. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kavita ma'am. I'll come back to you now. I would request Jaswinder sir, sir, if we can have your opening remark.
Thank you, Rajul, and good afternoon, everybody. Pleasure always to be on a platform with such eminent speakers and educationists. I would like to start with one very important thing is when we talk about NEP 2020, yes, a long-awaited document and policy, but glad it is finally there. The most important thing that you look at now here is this is going to have a social impact, a huge social impact. This policy does not talk only about learning, it also talks about how to make our next generation socially more responsible in ways more than one. Second thing is, this is a very disruptive policy. Lot of changes, huge changes, things which we had not imagined have been documented into it. And like all disruptions, this too will bring in a lot of success. Disruptions should be there. That is what will make people go out of their comfort zone and get onto the new part. The other thing that this policy talks about is how do we take advantage of India's rich culture and heritage. Up till now we were only going through what the world wanted us to see through their prism, not through our Indian prism. So that's what this policy is talking about. How do we look at learning, not as a student but as a shishya? Okay, so what we used to have, we had the first university in the world, and look, we're looking at other universities to tell us what to do. So it is giving us an opportunity to go back and look into that. That's an important part. And very important is that this time is the first time that the control has been given to the students. They will control what they want to learn, how they want to get it, and take India to the next step. I come from the edtech family, or from education and technology, so I'm going to talk more on how technology can be used and how language impacts. There's a huge disruption even in the use of language. Very glad it is there. I'm going to take it up when my turn comes in, and look forward to listening to all of you, hearing you out, and let's have a discussion which is positive minded. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, sir, for your detailed opening remark. And now I would request Vinayak, if you can have your quick opening remark.
Thank you, Rajulji. It feels really wonderful to be a part of this group and talking about education. I'm feeling like a chimpanzee who has just started to use tools when I can see the collective experience of Anju ma'am, Gurdeep ma'am, Jaswinder sir, and Rajesh sir having almost an experience of 100 years combined. And I have been in education industry since last 3 years, but I've been having a technical knowledge about music, so I will be focusing on talking about music and its relevance in NEP 2020. Thank you. And looking forward to learning from everybody.
And this is the biggest, I would say, positive in NEP, that it gives a chance to everyone. Because it opens so many new areas. It gives a chance to anyone, right? So thank you, Vinayak, for that. And with this, we come to the next part of the session, which is the main talk session. I would request all our key speakers if we can have your detailed interpretation on national education policy. All these speakers will get 10 minutes. And I would request if you can, just limit your thoughts in that time zone, so that we have sufficient time in the end for the questions. And we have already received many questions. And so with this, I would request Anju ma'am, if we may begin with you, we can have your detailed interpretation, your ideas on national education policy. I have one small request, ma'am, and in fact to everyone, while sharing your interpretation, if you can also suggest some kind of some thought which we all can try to execute at our respective domain. So that would make this session more engaging, more I would say fruitful. So Anju ma'am, over to you.
Yeah, sure.
11 5
Yeah, yeah.
worksheet 3.
Yes,
See,
ma'am.
I would basically be talking about the early childhood care education, which is very, as what I've mentioned earlier, it's very close to my heart. And what I feel is that this National Education Policy 2020, it has given a lot of opportunity to everyone, right? In fact, to all of us, that to learn something new and to unlearn and relearn as well. So it's a great platform, when all of us are together. So certainly there will be a lot of opportunity when we'll be taking away something, from this, yes, discussion. So I would say that I would begin with this only, that say millions of parents and educators, around the country, they have deep rooted and extremely outdated, you can say, mental models of what education should be. Now, assumptions like rote learning works, examinations, competitions, uh, say they are must even at a young age, but we should follow one book and examination results equal intellect. We all did fine, but with this kind of education. So all these points, what I feel, they are the barriers to education where we think about and where we feel that a change has to come. So to come up with all this, it is very important that in today's age of the knowledge-led economy, developing human capital to drive India's next wave of socio-economic growth is very, very critical. Now, NEP 2020 acknowledges that no reform will work unless the teacher is brought to the central stage, which is very important. We need to rightfully glorify and make teaching one of the most noble and aspired professions for the best and the brightest future. So a lot of emphasis has to be paid on the teachers training. What I feel is ना किसी रहबर से ना किसी रह गुजर से निकलेगा, ये तो अपने पाँव का ही कांटा है जनाब, हम ही से निकलेगा. So we have to begin, with ourselves. Before talking about any change anywhere else, let's talk about our own selves, how we can be the change, what really we want to see in the society. So we all have to come forward and execute this policy in the best way. And it all depends on us, how we are going to do it, how we are going to take a very small step, because it's going to be a very, very long journey. We know our target we have fixed up for 2030, but small steps we have to start taking from now onwards, creating a lot of awareness, because this is a living document. And it is very important to have appropriate care and stimulation of the brain in the early years to ensure healthy brain development and growth. Dear friends, we all know, and we should not forget that the key remark, the landmark statement which has been given, in NEP says that 85% of child's very important, very critical, and we all need to underline this point because it all talks about the early childhood education, which has been ignored, since many years, and in almost all the policies, of our education policies in the past. So now is the time. ECCE comprises alphabets, language, numbers, counting, coloring, shapes, indoor and outdoor activities, and social Hello, am I there?
We had lost you in between, ma'am. You'll have to come again.
We lost you for last 20
Okay,
seconds,
okay,
for,
good.
for 10, 15
So
seconds.
the overall aim of ECC, yeah. So the overall aim of ECC is to attain optional outcomes in the domains of physical and motor development, cognitive development, socio-emotional ethical development, cultural artistic development, and literacy and numeracy. Very important. And on the curricular side, if we see, it is extremely vital to introduce an increased focus on foundational literacy and numeracy, and generally on reading, writing, speaking, connecting, arithmetic, and mathematical thinking throughout the primary school curriculum. These all these activities they will be included at this particular age. Now, the learning in the preparatory classes is primarily based on Plevey method with a focus on developing cognitive, affective, and psychomotor abilities and foundational literacy and numeracy. Now, Mahatma Gandhi, as he had said, on the importance of first 5 years of the child's life, he says that we labor under a sort of superstition that the child, on the contrary, the fact is that the child never learns in life after he he does not learn during these 5 years. So it's very important. This is a very impressionable age of the child. Whatever the brain gets and absorbs during this period is there in our mind, child's life. That is right from his important days, the most important age, indelible impressions on the child's mind because it is so. As Maria Montessori had also said, that the most important period of life is not the age of university period, but the period from birth to the age of 6 years. So these 6 years, they are very crucial, very critical in child's life. So 18-month-old child, if taught correctly, underline my word when I say taught, a 18-month-old cannot be taught, but he observes and the child understands everything. How? See, if taught correctly, can make connections in the brain. We should not forget that these connections, they are made through the neurons. Brain development that happens during this period, and it is believed that there are about 100 languages in which the child talks through his facial expressions at this age. Something very important again to be underlined, about 100 languages in which the child really makes, his facial expressions. Now you show him a watch, that, and he hears the sound. So what happens when he sees a picture of a watch, he tries to, say, and he tries that the sound would come from this picture also, because he can connect it. So this is how we can make the connections, make the interconnectedness with each other. And that's how he makes the connections, that if a real watch has a sound, the completion of 2000 days of child's age, the brain is densely covered with neurons. The neurons, which are the information messengers, and they transmit information between different parts of the brain. From one brain, from right brain to the left brain, it keeps on passing the information. Now, NEP, it emphasizes more on the joint ways. These 5 pillars are like access, equity, affordability, accessibility, accountability is all about 3 S's and 3 E's. Now, these are success and sustainability for society, and excellence and equity for everybody. In our diverse and you can say culturally rich country like India, and there are 22 languages which are mentioned in the constitution also. So it's a great responsibility on our shoulders as teachers, as academicians, to in which language should we really teach the child, or we should really talk to the child. So the best thing of this policy is that it is highlighting that at this, in whichever way, whether it is problem solving, conflict management, critical thinking, and any other activity for that matter, the medium of talking to the child, medium of interaction with the child has to be in his own language. Something which really needs to be highlighted, because this is the need of the hour. Throughout, we have really been emphasizing more on the English language. No doubt, English is an international language. It has to be really given a due weightage. But then, at this impressionable age, if we put, if we highlight that that language of the child in which he can understand, in which he can think, probably that is the foundation in which we are helping him to prepare throughout, so that he can have a very, very strong building later in his life. So education has to be in the language of the child. Again, a point to be underlined, and a very key area, a very, very strong point of NEP, which everybody has to understand. Dear friends, as I've already highlighted that 85% of the brain's development takes place during this place, I would say that those neurons,
So, ma'am has lost the connection, but she was making a very important points. She was talking about the importance of this early childhood education. In fact, one biggest achievement this NEP has already done and is already achieved that part, that it has created that buzz around that early child care education. In fact, I recall a lot of people now, you know from the general masses, they are talking about that importance now. Most of the people are talking about this, that 85% brain development happens in that early years. So that was very rare to hear, just 2 years from 2 years before now and 5 years before now. So that NEP has already done that. So we would be coming back to Anju ma'am for the second part of her talk. I would request Gurdeep ma'am. Anju ma'am has joined us back. You are on mute, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm there.
Ma'am, yeah. Ma'am, you are in the heart of Delhi, and when you are facing technical issues, so we can imagine about the digital infrastructure we have across country.
That I say, glitches are there. Yes, and
Yes,
we
yes,
have to,
absolutely,
we have to
absolutely.
bear that. Doesn't allow us
In
become
fact,
her.
today's time, due to various things, that Kisan thing, or
No, we are
Delhi
actually,
NCR.
we are dependent on technology, and this technology does now Atmanirbhar,
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Anju ma'am, over to you.
isn't it? This year, really, Oxford Dictionary also has adopted this word, Atmanirbharta. So we really want to be Atmanirbhar, but these technical glitches are there, and we are too much dependent on this technology, and we cannot connect with each other without this.
Right, right,
We are going
absolutely.
to do it. The as what I
Right. So,
say,
Anju ma'am, please,
I
please
was talking
conclude.
about the life skills only. So the
Yeah.
life skills, I'm just going to conclude. I'm just going to conclude that part only. I was just narrating an incident, where a child, adult is emphasizing on English with the child. The child comes to the say, no, I want to go to the washroom. The child, you have to repeat.
Anju ma'am, I have one
I want
request.
to.
I have one suggestion. Your voice is, is breaking. I would request if you can switch off your camera. So that would help. That would strengthen your audio.
I would switch off my camera.
Yeah,
Now
please.
am I
That
audible?
would help. It would be better.
Hello?
Yeah, it is. It is better now.
Yeah, sure, sure. So I would just that, and at that point of time, when the teacher third time, again says that you want to go to the washroom. By that time, the child says, "Ma'am, ho gaya." So you're teaching us everything, letting the child understand and know to physical. So highlight of FOMO, that is fear of missing out, to
We lost your voice, ma'am. We lost your voice, Anju ma'am. Right. So, right. So, Anju ma'am, we have lost your voice. You're not audible now. Yep. So now I would request Gurdeep ma'am will be coming back to Anju ma'am later. Gurdeep ma'am, now I would request you if we can have your detailed interpretation, your ideas on national education policy.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rajeshwar. Thank you. So it was very nice listening to Dr. Maharajwa. She had the early childhood education perspective. And I loved the two lines that she said, she shared with us. And while I was listening to her, I also thought of two lines which I had written, and I am going to use it for the NEP. So it says, सुबह भोर हुई शाम ढली फिर सवेरा होना हो इस लम्हा तू आ ही जा फिर बसेरा होना हो. So this is for the NEP कि अभी आप आ ही जाओ. Now it has to be implemented and we all have to take care of it and we have to go head on and take it forward. Okay, so
just quick comment on this, ma'am. जब जसविंदर सर की बारी आएगी तो जसविंदर सर is from Gujarat and our government is from Gujarat only. जसविंदर सर इस बात के लिए कहते हैं कि भाई ये जो government है this doesn't give you options. This gives you instruction कि ये करना है. So we have to find ways to how to do this. There is no option करना है या नहीं करना है. Gurpreet ma'am, over to you, please.
So Basera confirmed. We have to see how we have to do it. That's the only lookout, I think so now. So while we are talking about the NEP, and I said it's a very ambitious project, but not unsurmountable, and it's making education more inclusive, quality education very inclusive. So what I have done is I have picked up the word inclusion. So I am just going to study the entire NEP with the term inclusion, as in what all has been included, which was not there probably earlier. So first of all, universalization of education. Yes, we were always talking about universalization of education, where we need equity and inclusiveness in education. Education should reach everyone. But now we are talking about quality education from preschool to secondary level. Now, the new education policy aims at universalization of education from pre-school to secondary with 100% gross enrollment ratio in school education by 2030, and for higher education by 2025 it should have at least 50%. Okay. So now I'll come to the second point, which Dr. Mehrotra is very fond of, ECCE. Now, according to the NEP 2020, the pedagogical structure has been changed from 10 plus 2 to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So children of the early education from age group of 3 to 5 are now included into the formal education bracket. पहले कैसे होता था, junior कीजिए किया है नहीं किया है, the child has gone to nursery, hasn't gone to nursery. So there was, like she very rightly said, that 85% of the brain is developed by the time you are, some say 5 years, some say around 7. So let's take an upper limit of 8 years. So that is how the government has taken it. It's very pertinent to keep this research in mind, and that's how they have taken up to grade 2. That means nursery, junior KG, senior KG, first and second have been placed in the same bracket so that they can be looked after and in a particular manner. Now, the best part is the NCERT will be developing a national curriculum and pedagogical framework for early childhood care and education called the NCPF ECCE for the children up to the age of 8 years. Imagine having a structured academic syllabi from nursery onwards so that there is a seamless transition from the preschool to the first, second, and thereafter to grade 3, 4, 5. And another thing I would like to add over here is after the senior KG, there is going to be a 3 months of transition in grade 1, wherein for 3 months they are going to continue with the playway, the activity-based method, and gradually they are going to wean out from the informal to the formal education. That's a very fine way of looking at things. Then another thing I would like to add is inclusion of community participation. Now, community participation is a concept that attempts to bring different stakeholders together for problem solving and decision making. And the NEP, I feel, has taken everyone. It has engulfed everyone. So they say, in family, agar kuch successful karna hai, to everybody should be involved. In a school also, if everybody is involved, if I involve all my teachers in an activity, we are brainstorming together, getting things further, it's definitely going to be a win-win situation. So that's what the government has done. Now, when we talk about community, I would like to add, I have also mentioned my school mantra is community connect. I don't believe that you can learn it from the textbooks, the theory. You have to connect with the people who are in your environment, in your ecosystem, who are involved in various types of jobs, whether it's a banker, or it's a veterinary doctor, it's a heart specialist, or a mason, or a carpenter. So what I try to do is we cannot have proper courses every time. We had not been having, which we will eventually be doing it. But when I get an opportunity, I put my children, attach them to a mason who's working, and tell them, try to understand, जाओ समझ के अब कैसे करना है इसको. So a carpenter shares the nuances of how he does his work. So this is what community connect is. Whether it is we have a new venture called Bachcho Se Charcha. Okay, so this Bachcho Se Charcha this is conducted by the children for the children. So we invite people from the community. I believe that like we always say insurance hai to bachcho ko apne aap 11th 12th mein jaake they will be taught why not they understand what insurance is, what a radio jockey works like, what are the skills required to be a radio jockey, isn't it? So we try to involve as many people from as many professions, and we call that our mantra as community connect. Now, this will really help children to understand the diverse culture. They will know how to empathize. They will be sensitized to the various kinds of jobs available in the market and what are the skills required for the same. Then inclusion of skill development. Now, the 21st century skills are the key words. Now, everybody is talking about it. And the rote, what we were doing all these years, in fact, I must say most of the Indian education system was based on rote learning, memorization, followed by regurgitation, vomiting it out, and you get your grades, you get your marks, and yes, is अच्छे college में मिल गया, he's got admission there. That was our goal. So somewhere this is going to really help. If not immediately, at least the mindset will start changing, which is very, very essential to start changing our mindset that this is not the be all and end all. We have to teach them to live for life, not live for, not study for getting only grades. Then my next point is inclusion of vocational education. This is also very close to my heart. The NEP 2020 integrates vocational education along with the academic education. So now there are no silos between academic and non-academic, vocational and academic, co-curricular or curricular, sports and others. So Torrin sir, I'm sure, is going to be very happy. Music, everything is going to be included in it. So then now a person like probably him who would have been very passionate about music would have not taken, because I'm sure parents will say, "Pehle kuch kar lo, earn a degree, and then you can do all this." Like some of our movies also depict very well. My next point was, which I really, really like, is inclusion of the other aspects of the personality of assessment. Till now, it was only your grades, your marks, all these. Now, there is a 360-degree evaluation of your personality. If you are mugging up, rote learning, regurgitating, and getting marks, you are not the person now. You have to be a collaborative person. You have to be a team player. You have to be good at communication. You have to have the skills like problem solving, critical, analysis. So if you have an holistic personality, only then and you are successful. So you like it or not, we have to develop this, and we all have to find ways and means how to do that. The NEP also aims at least 50% of students being exposed to vocational education by 2025. That is the target. Now coming to, and they have planned to have a, a report card which shows not only the writing abilities or the memorizing abilities, but also the other tangible and intangible qualities in a child. Another wonderful thing I feel, if it is possible, is inclusion of Indian and international universities. Now, multidisciplinary education and research universities called MERU, these are going to be the universities at par with IITs and IIMs. Okay. So, and I suppose they are going to be in every district. The MERUs are going to be in every district. Now, if we are developing these, world-class universities, we are going to be in a position to set our campuses abroad. And there are at least 100 universities which are going to be allowed to set their campuses over here. So it is an opportunity for all our children to study in the best possible, university. And I think so this is one of the best examples of collaboration. And now during the pandemic, I think so this is what we have learned. We could have never imagined this kind of a session. We would have not gone ahead. We are struggling to get together. I think this is the best thing that has happened, and that is being projected in the NEP also. So the internationalization of education will be facilitated through collaboration, like I already mentioned. Now coming to the next point, inclusion. When I say inclusion, research. So research is very, very essential for to ensure learning. If you want to really truly understand, analyze something that you have studied. So research has been incorporated and weaved very nicely in the NEP. So if you are doing your undergrad course, you have to have that 1 year research. If you are going for your postgraduate and you have not done that 1 year, you have to do it in your post graduation. That research, 1 year of research is very, very essential. So I think so most of our schools have already started it at a very young age, where the children are encouraged to research, and this is going to go at the global level now. So, it's going to be a part and parcel of the entire education system. So the National Research Foundation will be created as an apex body for fostering a strong research culture and capacity across our country. And even in the all the B.Ed colleges also are going to be part of the multidisciplinary colleges. Another thing is inclusion. The same point that I want to mention is inclusion of the B.Ed colleges also in the multidisciplinary colleges. So how we were doing till now, we have like we had isolated the ECCE separately, we had isolated all the B.Ed colleges. They were working in isolation. So there was no, we had to bridge the gap between the college, what they had studied in the college and what they had to actually teach. And that training is at times very cumbersome. So this bridging of the gap is going to be done once we have this 4 years integrated B.Ed course that they have told. By 2030, teachers are not going to be teachers by chance. They are going to be teachers by choice. And that's how, like somebody had mentioned, that we need to respect this fraternity, and that will come only when we are doing this by our choice and not or kuch nahi mila to chalo teacher ban jate hain. So that should not be the attitude. So my key term that I wanted to use was inclusion, and the actually topic is so vast that we can go on and on, but I'll stop over here so that we could listen to all the eminent personalities over here. Thank you.
Thank you, Gurdeep ma'am. You made these very important remarks. Uh, you also shared the kind of important inclusion this policy has. That about the universalization of education. You talk about that. You made an assessment that NEP offers an opportunity to innovate and explore. You also said that NEP's focus on vocational skill is highly laudable, and it also gives an opportunity for the 360-degree assessment. In fact, during our 100th session, Lieutenant General Suresh Kulkarni ji from Mayo College joined, and he said that this NEP offers an opportunity to to innovate, to bring some new practices. Till now we used to talk about that parents are not that much supportive. the environment is not that encouraging. This NEP offers that opportunity to explore, innovate. You also made those remarks. You also talked about how this NEP encourages research in education, by creating new institutions like Research Foundation. And in the end, you made a very strong, I would say, a statement, and we all hope that it comes true that NEP has a potential to create, the teaching, I would say, a job as an aspirational job. And by the end of 2030, we would be getting teachers who are in teaching profession as their first choice profession. So thank you, Gurdeep ma'am, for your remarks. I'll come back to you with questions. Now, with this, I would request Rajesh sir, Rajesh sir, if we can have your ideas, your perspective on national education policy. Sir, you are on mute, Rajesh sir.
Sorry, sir. Honorable team members of World Education Review, India International Education Council, and very respected fellow principals of eminent schools of India. I, Principal Rajesh Kumar, Montfort Academy, Senior Secondary School, Dhanbad, run by Shanti Gyan Educational Society, New Delhi, under the chairmanship of Rishi Khurana, Dr. Rishi Khurana. Today, I have joined in leadership talks. This is the 102nd discussion or webinar on the new National Education Policy 2020. My dear team members of World Education Review and India International Education Council and School Lalaji, I would like to salute you for your consistent and committed efforts for the sake of future generation, future citizen, and for the sake of perfect future India. This is a divine and patriotic deed to aware, to alert, and to make familiar more than 1 lakh intellectuals, stakeholders who are controlling, executing, and taking care of teaching learning process in schools and in higher education institutions. This early acquaintancy with national education policy will help us in its rapid execution in the best perfect way wherever we are, in schools and in universities, in colleges, in higher educational institutions. Today, I would like to concentrate on National Education Policy 2020 in context to our society's need. How our present society, economical and cultural scenario is longing for a new national education policy. Every time, in every webinar or in every leadership talk, new people we found, generally new teachers, principals, and educationists join the talk or webinar. Therefore, it becomes necessary to tell briefly or especially key points of the National Education Policy 2020 beside giving stress on a particular topic of speech. Anyway, before independence, the Indian society was comprised of various social levels and malpractices since the beginning of the ages. Some of them were sati pratha, child marriage, female infanticide, no education for girls, polygamy, untouchability, caste system, the prohibition of the education for the lower caste people, intolerance for each other among different sects of Hindu dharma, intolerance among different religions, and the most grave reason of evil was poverty. The British tried to eradicate social evils by passing various acts. Many social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, etc., did lot of efforts for social reforms. But in my opinion, very less work was done to propagate the education. After independence, it was thought by our leaders that only education can change the change and bring the change in society also. And thus they should show their faith in teachers. Our leaders showed faith in teachers. Architect of India, they were called the nation builders also. At last, first national education policy had come in 1968, and this policy was very successful, very unsuccessful rather, I would like to say unsuccessful due to shortage of funds, lack of proper roads, very less number of schools, lack of public and private transports. Then in 1986, second national education policy came in existence. This policy performed better than earlier policy. Most of classical government schemes such as Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, midday meal scheme, Navodaya Vidyalaya, Kendriya Vidyalaya, and use of IT, first of all in education, was started under that NEP 1986. We cannot say that policy and that national education system was a complete failure, but even then, some gaps were there and which deteriorated our social construction, our national build-up. Educational reforms of 1992 and Right to Education Act 2009 made the education system more goal-oriented and child-centered. But some failures of this policy were lack of lack of control over dropouts students. We could not do anything for them because our system, our teaching and our curriculum was so heavy, so burdened and boring. Although we tried playway methods and everything, but even then, system was not perfect. Decline in numerical skills we have seen, decline in ability in reading and writing of the students up to class 5 we have seen, and these are the reports of various survey done by various departments of the government itself. Beside this, the public sector, there was lack of administrative control, that is absenteeism of and furlough, which prevailed among the government teachers, especially working in villages and in suburban areas. One more alarming situation has got developed since last 20 years, and this is a mindset or philosophy of universalization of education or universalism. It is in its true spirit, it is essential, but gradually it goes on concentrating, and now we have become neurotically obsessed with the doctrine of universalism. The principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam accumulated and has influenced us in more than its prescribed and required goals. Moreover, it got intensely flared up with the execution of almost a global or almost an universal language English from the start of any kind of schooling in almost all the private schools and also in good number of government schools, since zero level of schooling or zero level of classes or from the beginning, English has been adopted as a medium of teaching learning process. And I would like to express here, language directly affects our culture. Since the same is with the higher educational institutions, children and youth got detached from our moral values, cultural values and customs. Youth got detached from mother tongue, regional language and got detached from our rich social culture and natural environment. Not a day passes without the media giving us news about rape, casteism, murders, religious killings, corruption, poor politics, pathetic infrastructure. All these are happening due to unfit and less appropriate education policies of India. We have become materialistic, narrow minded with respect to elders, women, and old parents. Already existing and existed national education policies, that is NEP 1968 and NEP 1986, although having many merits, deteriorated the mindset of children and youth. For youth, India is reduced to being a mere launch pad for entering into US, UK, or other rich countries. We think that only a foreign label or brand on our forehead can raise our real value to whole universe. This has become the mentality of the youth. This unfavorable and dangerous drift of our future generation, our youth, our children, has been revealed by undesirable incidents and episodes which has been taking place in higher institutions and in reputed world-class institutions. NEP 96 produce certificate and degree holders, research persons, increased the literacy rate also. Doctors, engineers, professors, and skilled or vocationally skilled people, but 70% of these people, children and youth, are always taking on global issues, talking on global issues. Their heartbeats feel pain when anything happens in America, UK, China, Gulf countries, Pakistan, or in Nepal. They are totally unconcerned with our own country's problems. We should focus on what we could give back to our society, to our city, to our state, to our country, instead of waiting things to come our way the way we desire. We know that the excess of everything is bad, and this excess and overdose of English language as a medium and overdose of becoming citizen of world and universe due to lapses in national education policy made our people citizen of nowhere. In spite of India's great citizen civilization, our situation nowadays has become like बेगानी शादी में अब्दुल्ला दीवाना, या फिर धोबी का कुत्ता न घर का न घाट का. All these became the forceful, powerful, and strong, compelling need to change the existing system altogether. Hence, National Education Policy 2020 came in existence to fulfill all these gaps, to eradicate all the drawbacks, and to enroll almost all the children of country under free education from the age group 3 years to 18 years. I would like to request you, please give me 5 or 7 minutes more. I would like to compile all the things, and I have to say something which I have discussed with my teachers. They raised some questions, some problems, and I want that this platform should allow me to express those ideas also.
Can we do that in the the second part of this session, so that once we have the ideas from all
So
the
let me
participants-
compile as much as I can. So give me.
So I would request, please take one more minute to conclude.
Not one. Please give me 3 minutes. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
So
Please.
I am trying to compile. I am trying to compile. So basically, National Education Policy 2020 is containing 4 parts. And 2 parts, out of those 4 parts, 2 parts have been already discussed by the earlier speakers. And for higher education, Gurdeep ma'am has told very nicely, and before that, for school education also, I have seen that in detail have been told. So I am not going to express all those ideas again. I am not going to tell all those ideas again. But in my view, whosoever have joined today, and those may be new people, those may be new listeners. So everybody should have the right to know exactly what policy is. Earlier, we were having 10 plus 2 system. Now we are having 10 plus, now system has changed. We are having 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 system. This has been explained already. And so many things has come. Language learning liberty is there. Multi-language system has been adopted. Examination have been controlled nicely by Parak, and we are having only 2 board examinations, and in between 2 more examinations are there that will be controlled. And but in the end, I think it would be better to conclude now. So because you are not giving me the time, I will send my research papers to you, whatever I have done. So I would like to conclude now. So I was discussing about NEP 20 with my teachers of Mount Fort Academy, Dhanbad, and teachers of Shanti Gyan International School, New Delhi. So they raised some points, and those points were attracted me. I want that must be listened carefully, and thus that must be included in what we will send, whatever the papers we will going to submit in higher authorities and HRM office or in the ministry, which is directly concerned to shape the policy, and they may. It might be possible that this platform will say them to consider, that may be considered. Okay, so first of all, I would like to tell you this. They told me that this new policy is based on conservation of our cultural and our civilization, plus making children equipped with the new technology and research. So this is very true. I have felt that this policy is explaining all these things. Conservation of Indian languages are also the second positive aspects of the NEP 2020. Languages always has a direct effect on culture, custom, and religion. Language studies will always keep us near to our motherland. And another fourth point is making that a teacher will be very practical, as Gurdeep ma'am also told this thing. Making a teacher will be very practical procedure, and now persons will intense and innate qualities of a teacher will get selected. This will raise the literacy ratio also. वो जो घुसपैठिए टीचर होते थे कि कुछ और नहीं किया तो चलो टीचर ही बन जाते हैं, वो that will get eradicated automatically.
गुरदीप मैम ने अनाउंसमेंट कर दिया कि 2030 में जो भी टीचर्स आएंगे कि उन्होंने बचपन से सोचा होगा कि हमें टीचर बनना है और वही टीचर
हाँ, yeah. Not teacher by desire, not by compulsion. And
Sir?
if not control, yeah, ma'am. If not control accurately, schools and colleges are allowed. This is the drawback which they told me. My teachers told me, and I was astonished to listen them. I have read policy many a time, but never thought like that. They told me if not controlled accurately, schools and colleges are allowed here in NEP 2020 to distribute the diploma or degree or certificates, and will be given may give rise to corruption and forgery if not controlled nicely. And this is happening already. So many institutions have been given power to give vocational guidance to the people, and they are just those degrees are just being purchased, we can say. And then copying in examinations must be controlled, otherwise goal of NEP 2020 again would never be achieved.
Right.
Enrollments of schools must be checked strictly. This is another burning aspect, burning point, and a very important point. enrollment of schools must be checked strictly to eradicate fake admissions or dummy admissions or non-attending admissions in 9th, 10th, and especially in 11 and 12 classes. This is most important thing, and due to this, our youth are going nowhere. Just हम कूड़ा इकट्ठा कर रहे हैं. 1 minute more, sir. Even in colleges and universities, this non-attending culture is prevailing. This should be controlled. We are giving liberties to universities, outside universities also, and we are giving liberty to private sector. But one thing should be there in this policy also, that a control system should be very strict. So,
Right. Thank you, Rajesh sir. You talked about these very important points. You also talked about the challenges which this policy is going to face. We all agree with you when you say that education reform was the ignored area. Since ages, in this policy, for the first time, tries to make an effort in that direction. And you also talked about that how this NEP will has a potential to stop brain drain. You know, and also from
one point one point I would like to tell.
Rajesh sir, I
Point.
would request we can take these points during the question part.
Okay, okay. No problem.
आपकी जैसे
No.
सर आपके जैसे अगर हमारे पास सब लोग बैठे हैं तो एक पॉइंट से दूसरा पॉइंट निकलता चला जाएगा. राइट.
बिल्कुल.
आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट हमारा जो क्वेश्चन वाला पार्ट है उसमें हम इन वाली चीजों पे चर्चा करेंगे और बाकी जो एक्सपर्ट और बैठे हैं गुरदीप मैम, अंजू मैम, उनके भी हम कमेंट्स ले लेंगे. So now I would request Kavita ji, I would request if we can have your, you represent the higher side of education. So if we can have your perspective, Kavita ji.
Thank you very much, Rajulji. Thank you, World Education Review, for giving me this opportunity to speak at this platform. I'm Kavita Singh from SRM University. So I'm going to talk about the NEP, that how it is going to be implemented in India. So a well-defined, well-planned and progressive education policy is must for every country, because education is the cornerstone of every economy and social progress. This is the backbone of any country. So taking into account their respective tradition and culture, the different countries are adopting varied education systems. And recently, our government took a giant step by announcing this education policy, that is NEP 2020, almost 3 decades after the last major revision, which was done in 1986. So NEP 20 boldly envisions 3 important thematic developments. First, it is a shift from content-driven curriculum to the inspired applied learning. So it will be this student learning will student-centered learning will be there. And secondly, it is design a 360-degree assessment model which will be covering educational, physical, and mental well-being of the students. And the third point is experiential learning through vocational skills, mathematical thinking, and 21st century skills like data sciences and coding. As we know that during the pandemic, people are connecting through virtual ways of connecting, and we are not able to connect physically with the students. So 21st century skills, including that how we can connect virtually with the world. So it is also bringing that point into consideration, and the larger goal is to make Indian learners truly global citizens who are future ready. So it will be making a demand for Indians in the times to come. So this policy has come at the right time, and objective is very noble behind this policy. So there are lying world of differences in laying down a policy on paper and following it in print. So there is a difference between making the policy and bringing the actual implementation part of that policy.
So NEP has forwarded propositions which are appreciable. So policy envisions a model of holistic learning that is integrated, engaging, and immersive, all the things, so that overall development of the students can take place. So NEP 2020 has its main tenets that flexibility is there. Students can choose their learning trajectories, equal promotions of arts, sciences, and physical educations, and other curricular activities. So the learners can pick whatever picks they are interested, and they have multidisciplinary approach across the sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities, and sports, etc. So emphasis is on conceptual learning rather than the previous mode of learning. So creativity and critical thinking, cultivating life skills like cooperation, teamwork, empathy, resilience, and regular informative assessment, how they can go for keeping these things in their regular life. So it is encouraging tutoring as well, which is voluntary and joyful activity for the fellow students under the supervision of trained teachers. So we'll be having a requirement of a lot of trained teachers also, which are well aware about the NEP 2020. So NEP is something which is coming outside of the four walls of a classroom and encouraging students to imbibe from the real world. So this is